Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighter's Voice.
Rich Ortiz here with the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. We're simply knocking out the competition. We're in Stockton, California, 209 with the one, the only, Mr. Jacob Stictch Duran, a.k.a. the Stictch Man. Welcome to the show. We got the co-host with the most, Shelly. A1 Vision, man. He's making it happen here. You can see the studio as you walk in. It's making it happen. You're here in Stockton, California. No longer a phone interview. You're here in studio.
Back home, actually.
Yes.
Back in the 209. But props to you, Shelly. I'm impressed, man. You know, I walk in and, like I say, I got dropped off, came straight in, so I really didn't get to examine what you got going here. First thing I complimented you, I was at the floor, so I thought
said
class.
The same thing.
And then I see the walls and I think you got something going. But then I walked outside and came back and I saw the whole area. And my man, props to you. Proud of you, man.
Yeah, hard work.
You're doing good, but thanks for having me here, man.
He's making it happen, man.
It's nice finally. Yeah, you're right.
Well, tell them about the ducks we saw on the way, man.
Yeah, I tell you what, man.
Only with the family.
Only in Stockton.
That's right.
We're coming over here. I'm getting chauffeured over here, right?
That's right, yeah.
We both
absolutely.
are, Yeah. And there's some geese, and they have 9 ducks, and they're just
all in
walking.
order.
Nobody's bothering them, and
See, that's
only in Stockton.
That's that shit you don't hear about Stockton, though, right? You always hear the bad things. Like there's areas like this, like where we're in right now. You know what I mean? And then I always tell people, like, they'll meet me somewhere. I'll be in, like, where I was just in Canada. I was in Vancouver, you know, and I'm talking to people, and then a conversation comes up, like, where are you from? I'm like, Stockton. And it's so interesting that people in Canada know where that is, right?
Yeah.
But also they know why too, because like in Canada you got a lot of people that are like UFC fans, so they instantly associate that shit with the Diaz brothers. So they think like, damn, you live in Stockton, you know? And then I see them kind of step back and look at me for a minute. I'm like, hey, trust me, everything ain't like what you guys think in Stockton. I was like, it's some solid people from this area, you know?
Nice restaurants too. I was just talking to you. I was asking you earlier about that one. Yeah, we need to stop by there later on, man. See what Stictch is doing later on, man.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Weather's great. You know, it's nice to come back over here. So I Gabe Flores, I'm here with Gabe Flores.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've supported him as much as I could.
Yeah.
And the fights that he's had. Now he has 12 fights, you know, so he's doing real good. But it's nice to come back. But I'm going to take an extra day and go to my little hometown of Planada and by Merced and spend time with my family. I got one brother, but guys that I grew up with in the migrant camps and in the farm works and the town, you know, guys I knew forever. So I'm going to hang out with them for Cinco de Mayo.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
And on the way over here, we were talking about the Gabe Flores show. They're not even talking about the co-main event, not the main event.
No.
I mean, yesterday, Gabriel Jr. was getting the key to the city from the mayor. He got a championship bout from an expansion team, a new team that was there. Everybody was there for Gabriel, completely Gabriel. They forgot about the co-host in the main event.
Well, you know, at the weigh-ins, of course, you know, we went. But as soon as Gabe got off the scale and off the stairs, all the fans left.
Well, that's
and the poor, main event. I didn't even know who the main event was until I think I got here. So it'll look better on TV than it will here in Stockton. So those that are going to the fight, man, you're gonna have a great time. Those that haven't got your tickets, get your tickets, man, because it's the hottest thing in town.
It is. I mean, we got people, and you got your last minute people. They're blowing me up. I'm not a ticket man. I'm not the ticket booth.
Yeah, right.
Richard, can I get tickets? How can I get tickets? Hey, man, like anybody else, man. I mean, just show up and try to get some.
So the story I heard is they've sold 10,000 and they put out 3,000 more. So, I got my brothers coming, one from Merced and one from Mount Grove, and I said, hey, get your tickets early, man, because those 3,000 will probably be gone.
Yeah. I mean, that's
pretty historical, man, for Stockton.
Absolutely.
Super big. And that's one thing, too, about Stockton, man. We got a lot of good athletes. Like you said, we mentioned Diaz brother. We got Flores. You got people like Lionel Hamilton. You got Lavelle Hawkins that played in the NFL. Like, this place produces, like, crazy athletes all the time. It's like some shit that's in the water or just in our blood. And I think it's just like, what people don't understand, there's like a natural competitive nature when you grow up in this environment in Stockton.
100% right.
We've been like that forever. Like second place is the first loser to us. Like even our boys, I remember fighting with my boys about who's starting, who's gonna get the position. That shit's real out here.
Yeah, of course. But that's the mental mindset.
Right.
You know, and then you grow up with it, and it's, like Gabe today at the weigh-ins, his opponent, they got the guns up and all that. And, and he puts his in front of Gabriel, and Gabriel puts his in front of him, and the guy didn't challenge him.
Right.
And so I thought that was pretty awesome. It's the mind game.
Yeah, it is. It's like for us, it's like, man, we weren't given opportunities, so when we get it, Like we're gonna keep
grasp it.
Yeah, we're gonna take ours. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's what we got. Like people be like, oh, you live in Cali, but like there ain't no beaches in Stockton. No, you know what I mean? We got the Delta and we got fields. Like, and then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Right. No more. You know what I'm saying? So you want to go work the fields?
Yeah.
Or you want to go fish the Delta to eat? Like, what do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, like this ain't no IT. This ain't Silicon Valley and shit. Like our downtown, the biggest thing downtown is the courthouse.
And see, that's the other side people need to know about, because they just hear about the negative stuff. They hear about the break-ins. They hear about the gangs. And yeah, they exist, but not just in Stockton. Right. So to talk about the athletes, to talk about something positive, and right now, Gabriel Flores Jr. has an opportunity to turn Stockton around and give people hope and make it positive, just like his whole story, man. So I'm impressed with every step that he's taken along the walk with his journey, my man.
Yeah, you know, for me, it's been a real pleasure to work with him. And, you know, I guess I'm sure I'll be doing more interviews, but I guess we'll just kind of let you guys know how it got started. Yeah. And but I get a call from Gabriel's father, and he's talking about his son and this and that, all the records and accolades, and I didn't know who Gabriel is. I haven't followed the amateurs, right? Yeah. So he said he was looking at me and a couple other cut men, you know, to see who'd be interested in working with him, and then he flew me up to LA to Manny Robles' gym, and I wrapped Gabriel's hands, and we talked, and you know, I said, man, I haven't worked the 4-rounder in years. You know, all the fights I've worked have been 10-rounders or championship fights, 12-rounders, right? But I like Gabriel, and I like his father, and he's from the 209, and I'm from the 209, and, you know, he has a hard story. I got a hard story. I try to, you know, give him. So I said, you know what? If I'm going to commit myself, somebody's going to be Gabe and all that. So I, you know, every chance I get to work a fight, because I'm booked all the time. Yeah. But like on this one, when they fought, and Gabriel fought his last fight in Fresno, right? Yeah, we were in Fresno. In the dressing room, his father asked me if I could fight on this date, and I thought, oh man, that's kind of a weekend, you know. That's big in Vegas, right? You know. Yeah. But I said, no, you know what? If I'm going to support him, these are the times I got to support him. You know,
that's cool, man. And actually, that's awesome. The story he's telling, that was the first time I met you. Yeah, you came to the hotel and we drove over to the Rock. Yeah, that's right. I got my first interview with Stictch at the Rock at Manny's gym, and actually it was some good sparring in there. I know there's rules about sparring, but it was like it was some hitters in there. There's big names that are like relevant right now. Yeah, that. There were some nice sessions. You know what I mean? Yeah, like trust me, there's some future fights I want to see. Yeah, based on the sparring that was going on that day.
That's good. Yeah, you don't have to say it, but I will. So anyway, here's the story, you guys.
Let's hear it.
You got to turn it until next week. No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. But I will find out. I'm sure if it's going to happen. Right?
What's his name? Irish cat.
Yeah, we were tongue twisted.
Connor walked him out before. What's his name?
He made his debut, and he told all the judges after the Olympics.
Yeah, he flipped everybody off.
Yeah, they were number one. That's his, not to claim to fame, but that was one we all recognize him because of that.
Yeah, he was in there. Jesse Magdaleno was in there. It was a good day.
Yeah. And most, when they didn't get the decision as amateurs, because a lot of times they got bad decisions, they just walked in the dressing room. He refused. Yeah. He knew that was his last fight, and he just said, he let him know. Yeah. And it kind of tells you exactly the kind of heart and the attitude that he has coming out, man. And, to have Conor McGregor walk him out, I mean, yeah.
It's a big support factor, of course.
Absolutely.
Of course, big time.
You said it
man,
right.
But that Irish has always been like that, man. Hey, they're stuck.
Fight.
That fighting Irish spirit they got, man. That's what their claim to fame right there. If they get a fighter, that's their shit.
I've been to UFC fights where either McGregor or a big Irish name is fighting. If it's not here, it's in Ireland. Even boxing, Ricky Hatton. Right. Man, I was talking about it the other day. They still the show. They still the arena, the MGM is theirs, or wherever the fight's at. It's there.
The only other people I see that with Filipinos are like that with Manny. Yeah. Latinos definitely support theirs, but them Irish, man, there's some arrogant motherfuckers too. Like they don't. They win or lose, they won. Like that's how they are.
And they are going to let you know about it.
Oh yeah,
definitely. They're singing too. Yeah. I mean, they will definitely take over an interview too. I went up there for Conor McGregor Mayweather, not for the fight, but just to get some content that week.
Right.
I mean, these guys didn't sleep. They're walking around with their flags. They're singing. They're enjoying it. I mean, it's awesome. Conor gave them an opportunity just to party and support them.
That's right.
Yeah, you remember how it was for me with 90,000 people at Wembley Stadium when Klitschko fought Anthony Joshua.
Man,
Brits.
Brits.
How was the energy there, man?
It was phenomenal. It was a buzz.
Did you feel it walking out?
It was insane. You know,
that's just crazy, man. Because we get stadiums and they say, "Oh, it's or like they do." What was just the big one right now with Spence, and they're talking about how many people was there. That still wasn't as many people that was at the Joshua fight. Like when things happen in Europe, it's crazy, especially with like the soccer culture and boxing. So when they fill an arena, like you said, there's damn near 100,000 people.
It was insane.
And the light show helped out too, man. When they cut the lights and you see everybody there, the lights, the fans. I mean, it's just that atmosphere and
Man, I'll give you a little nice behind the scenes story that I think you guys will enjoy. Vladimir, I got a lot of respect with him. I've been for him 12 years, so I worked with Vladimir, and then I started working with Vitaly after he came out of retirement.
Yeah.
When he fought Danny Williams, the guy that beat Mike Tyson. Right?
Yeah.
And so my daughter got married in the island of Crete that week, that Wednesday. Thursday, I flew to London for the fights, right? So I didn't see Vladimir till the day of the weigh-ins, Friday, because he was staying in an apartment. And so we're in the dressing room, and he has a lot of respect for me. You know, I've been with him for all these years. I've taken care of him, and right at the end, I put my hand on his shoulder. I said, "Look, Vladimir, don't worry about anything tomorrow. I'm going to take care of you like you're my son." And I leave. I left it, you know. So here we are, man, in front of 90,000 people. And right before Michael Buffer does his announcements, I'm putting the final Vaseline on Vladimir, and he looks down at me because, he's like, 6'6", and he says, "You could call me son." I said, man, I got to him.
Wow.
I got to him mentally.
Yeah.
He knew that.
Respectfully, too.
Exactly. He knew that he could go out there and fight his heart out,
right?
And I take care of him. Yep. And a lot of people don't know.
That's that connection, man.
Of course,
that's a connection,
yeah.
And it doesn't even have anything to do with culture, because a lot of times they say, "Well, you got the connection because we're both Mexicans, we're both white." We're talking about different intensity, and you guys just connected.
100%.
Boom, right there.
Yeah. And that's one of the great things about my job is, he's one of many.
Yeah.
I got special moments with so many guys.
Man, Sticch, when you're sitting there with these guys, like win or lose, or even speaking, going towards that, like when you see a fighter that you're in a corner with, and he's going through it, do you change? Do you give off anything when you're sitting there, take care of them, or are you always just poised?
No, that's a good question, man. A real good question. No, I always keep my composure. That's my key. That's my strong points, and that's when my psychological conversations with you,
Yeah, like you're good.
See, I just changed you right now.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
Those are the moments I'm real good at. That's when I turn it into that.
Okay.
And so like I tell these guys, I'm gonna take care of you like you're my son.
Nah, that's cool, because I never boxed like that. I did martial arts and football, but I remember after some hits, like you can't hear shit. Like everything is muted. Yeah. So it's like I remember just sitting there like sometimes and like hearing shit, but I wasn't hearing it. I just understood like what was said. You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying you got 30 seconds with them. And most of the time at a certain point, if they're cut or hurt, you're in their face, not really their coach. So that's why I'm wondering about your composure. Like,
yeah, no, that's number one. And, people always ask me, everybody wants to be a cut man now.
Yeah.
They see what I do, and I guess I got to take some of the credit for that. But, I said, first and foremost, composure. You got to keep the composure. See some young guys, new cut men are working and their hands are trembling, or they don't have the right equipment at the right time. And, that's difficult to watch.
Well, okay, that was going to be my next question. When you're sitting back just watching any event, MMA or boxing, just on your time, sitting down or at an event, and you see a guy and you're probably saying to himself, "Dude, what's he doing? Why is he doing that? Or why isn't he doing this?" I mean, do you see that a lot with these young guys? Or and at the same token, do you see a guy saying, "Okay, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's doing a great job"?
I study every fight I see,
I'm talking about the cut man too.
Of course. I study the whole corner because the whole corner has to be one.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own assignments, and I look and see who's doing what and see how they're doing it. And of course, I'm always observing and learning. Even my kids will call me, "Dad, did you see this guy, man? He put that bloody swab in his mouth," and they know the game.
Yeah.
And the proper way to do it.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to instill. I do videos now and trying to, show these people how, if you're going to be a cut man, at least learn the basics. Yeah. From there, I'll show you the basics, but from there, you have to establish yourself. And the only way to do it is to go out and do it. Unfortunately, it's to work on a cut.
Yeah. No, that's real.
Yeah.
And then I think when we're talking on phone, man, I asked you, but just you can clarify. We're on film, people can see it. I brought up the point like with you being in MMA and boxing, and I was just talking about the contact. Like what do you see? Like, do boxers hit harder? Do MMA fighters hit harder? Like, as far as damage, like where do you see who's taking it the most? Like, if you speak from a professional, speak from the fact that if you had a son or a grandchild in the game right now, like, what do you see happening to these athletes?
Well, let's throw another sport in there that I'm starting to work with now. It's called bare knuckle fighting.
Right. Yeah. I watched the whole thing on Vice. I just watched Vice just put out a 30-minute show on that.
But both sports guys get hit hard.
Right.
There's a lot of the power comes from the angle and the timing, and guys take a lot of shots. I think they're saying through their experience that boxing on the long term will give you long-term injuries such as dementia pugilistica, the punch-drunk syndrome, right?
Right.
They say the MMA industry, that their injuries are more short-term, even if it's a broken arm, but ligament damage or something like that.
Right.
Because they don't take as many shots to the head, as boxing does. So I don't know if it's been disputed, but that's what they're saying. There's the variety of the variants there. So I don't know.
No, but I hear you on that. But you're sitting in the corner and you're hearing these cracks.
It blows my mind.
Right. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It blows my mind. I look at these guys, and none of them have to be world champions. You get in there and you do what you do. I have respect for you, and I treat them all like a world champion. But I hear these guys cracking each other, man.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. I like that. I treat them all like champions, because I've always said that to myself. Treat them all like champions, right? They're local, whoever, treat them all like champions and give them the respect and the time they needed. Since we're talking about bare knuckle, I don't mean to interrupt Shelly, but I got to ask you this, and I just got a big text today from not LeVar Johnson himself, but from his people. I guess he's leaning towards coming back, but he wants to put his hands in bare knuckle. What's your whole? How do you think he'll fare in the bare knuckle? I know you studied him. Great stand up. Struggled a little bit on the ground, but
Well, this you don't get on the ground.
Well, exactly, and I think that's why they're recommending the bare knuckle for him.
That's a good question also, and I'll tell you, because I've done all the 5 shows from the primary company. There's other ones that have tried and didn't pay their people, and there's another one that's supposed to. So that's the trend. But the Dave Feldman that has bare knuckle championships.
Yeah.
He does it right, and so we've done 5 fights, and the safety is big time there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I joined him. So it's interesting.
How do you think LeVar will fare in there?
Good. If his mind and there the game changes, because his talent could be like your talent, but and that's why I've been examining these guys. I talk to them, because either they're pro boxers or MMA guys that cross that line.
Right.
But once you cross that line, the mentality has to be different, because these guys are cracking each other with bare knuckles, man.
Right.
And I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? What are they doing?
Yeah.
But the cut ratio is 80% easy.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So,
wow.
But these guys, and you're asking that question, the heart of the warrior, I get to see the heart of the warrior. I know I'm there with them,
right?
And just to see the grit. They're taking shots, man, and for all 3 sports. I've heard them, I've seen them. I've stopped one fight with Andre Duran because he was taking some serious shots, long-term injury type of shots.
Is that communicated with you? Like, does the manager look at you and be like, or the coach, like, should we stop this fight, or is that left in whose hands is that in?
Well, it's the team. Really, the team. And that was the thing with Andre Duran when he was fighting Hadikiri, guy from Venezuela. It was the rematch.
Mm-hmm.
And he was taking some dead shots. And I told him, I said, the doctors are thinking of stopping the fight. You want to continue? And he gives me a little slight no. And I said, oh, done. Yeah. And Virgil saying, no. I said, no, he's done.
Right.
Once you say no,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you get hurt. Next day, him and his wife called me and thanked me, and he says, I just didn't have it, but he was taking those deep penetrating shots.
Yeah.
And I took that upon myself.
Well, shit,
but I will give him suggestions, of course.
Yeah, you've been around a lot. Who's your top 3 guys you hear that can just crack when you're talking about heavy hands in the ring?
Chuck Liddell could crack. He could crack. Vladimir Klitschko and Vitaly Klitschko both cracked.
Yeah.
But I used to do Livingstone Bramble. You remember the Rastaman, of course.
Livingstone Bramble.
Good friend of mine. And I
Rosario beat him.
Yeah, he's the one. His claim to fame was he beat.
That was an undercard of Camacho.
He beat Boom Boom Mancini.
Yeah, both fights.
Title. And so he's a good friend of mine, the Rastaman, right? But he used to, when I used to do pads with him, he would literally hurt me, and nobody. Usually it's the elbow, the shoulder, but he would penetrate so hard that he would hit me.
Yeah.
So he hit hard, real solid.
Man.
Livingstone Bramble, that's old
The
school.
Rastaman, good friend of
old
mine.
school right there, yeah.
Yeah.
He made it happen, man. He pulled some.
He was a character, man.
I think Richard, you I mean, we talked about that, but you brought up that UFC thing, man, which was still a huge thing. Stictch in UFC, leaving UFC, Reebok, your own brand.
Yeah.
Well, you spoke your mind, and you represented the cut man. You were telling me, and somebody asked you a question, and you said, "Look, man, I mean, because now you're just dealing with people's lives, because a lot of people depend on the sponsorship." You care to elaborate once again on that? I know you hear it a lot, and you've been asked that over and over again.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's awesome that it's been like 5 years. You know, Shally and people stop me everywhere I go, and in support of that, right? Yeah. So what happened, and we'll talk about it now because I know, you guys want to hear from the horse's mouth, right?
Absolutely.
So everybody was getting sponsors. We were making bank with sponsors. You know, I was making good money with sponsors. Fighters were making a lot more money, sometimes more money from sponsors than what they got in the fights. And I needed the sponsor. I needed the UFC to work, get sponsors. So we were making money, and they took it away when they went into the Reebok deal. So they told all the fighters that, you can't wear no more sponsors, and you're gonna have to wear Reebok, and we're gonna only pay you. I think it was like you could have 20 fights, but if you only had 4 fights in the UFC, you got $2,500. And so the fans hated it, the fighters, the trainers, everybody in the industry, and they were bad mouthing Reebok, the UFC, and all that. So they called the cutman and says, "Well, same thing. You guys can't have your sponsors anymore, and you have to wear Reebok." So, I always kind of represented the cut man. I'm the one, when I got sponsors, I'd try to hook up sponsors for them also. And so they told me that there's no money, and tried to meet a couple of times. There's no money, as at least a great increase, right? Because you're making this and then they pull it away.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that stuff's going. So I get a call from John Nash from Bloody Elbow, and he goes, "Would you be interested in doing an interview on how the Reebok deal affected the cut men?" So, the 209 kicked in. I said, like I said, we grew up as farm workers in the San Joaquin Valley in Planada, right? My parents, we were all involved in the, when Cesar Chavez walked from Delano to Sacramento, and, so we were So my parents were always for the rights of the farm workers. Yeah. And I thought about it, and I said, you know what, I got to man up, man. My parents wouldn't be proud of me, and I wouldn't be proud of me, and that's not the way I roll. So the interview I did was very politically correct.
Yep.
Did tons of interviews where people said, "I read it 3 or 4 times. You didn't say nothing wrong." But at that time, it was like throwing a gallon of gas in a little fire that was turning off, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why it went viral. And this and that, F Dana, F UFC, F Reebok. And so my wife and I are at Costco's, and I get a phone call, and they say, "Man, do you got time to talk?" One of my friends. And he works for the UFC, right? Yeah. So I said, "Nah, I'm shopping. How about an hour?" So I get home, and sure enough, an hour later, him and my other friend are on the phone, and my other buddy, and I don't throw his names out, because out of respect. Sure. He says, the only thing he said, his voice kind of cracking. He says, "Because of the interview you did about Reebok, the UFC is not going to use you no more." And that was it. And I said, "Well, boom," it was kind of little thump, right? That shot you take, where you can't hear the bells, And so I said, "All right." Shocked. So then I said, "All right, well, listen, do me a favor. Is you tell Dana," I said, "he ain't got no balls, that he should have called me personally," right? So I'm getting tons of messages, support from all over the world. And the first guy that I respond to on his text, I said, "I want you to be the first one to know that the UFC just let me go for speaking out about the Reebok deal, and got to find a new job." And that went viral. Man, I did like 57 interviews in 1 week. I had camera crews coming to my house, and I had all this crazy stuff. I mean, getting job offers from all over the world with different organizations.
Well, you got to remember, not only that, you were honestly the face of the company.
Yeah, of course.
The face of the company, the brand.
Yeah, and Burt Watson and myself, Don House, we were the original three. And we put that program together, Burt Watson and his crew, everything that went behind the scenes with the fighters, walking out at the right time, the scales, and the techniques that we use for the cutmen in the UFC, we established that also. Now every other MMA organization uses it. A lot of the cutmen, are starting to use it because it works.
Yeah.
So, So anyway, so they let me go, and I did all these interviews and all these, just calls from everywhere, support all over the world.
Did they ever reach out?
Well, so here's what happened. A couple weeks later, the UFC has their first big show on Fox Network, right? And they interviewed Dana to show you how big it was. Well, how about Stictch Duran? Is Stictch ever coming back? I don't know. Stictch will never be back. Stictch is, if he was my friend, he should have called me. Stictch don't know the meaning of friendship and this and that. And he says, Don House and this and that. And then at the end, he ends up blowing it and says, Stictch and I were never friends. And boom, that blew up in his face. Big time, but it made me the face of the rebellion, doing things right. And I've, even now I'm getting support, and it was the right thing to do, because I couldn't have stayed, they gave me that possibility to make that income, and then they just pulled it away, with no other compensation to go with that. Yeah. And then we did a lot for them, we saved a lot of fights for these guys, Forrest Griffin, Shogun. Yeah, of course, man, So we established that program, and at least I say I did that, and here I am going forward, bro.
No, that's nice, man. Yeah, that's the typical.
So anyway, so you guys heard the story.
No, well, look at the doors that are opening.
Everywhere.
Safe to say it's a blessing in disguise.
It's insane, man. I just booked the fight 2 days ago for Hamburg, Germany, July 6th. I'm going to Tokyo, Japan with the Japanese fighter, Ayoka, awesome. June 19th, and I might have another big show June 8th. But I'm doing bare knuckle fights, and now I'm working with this new group in Las Vegas called FFC, Final Fight Championships. And it's a group from Croatia. They signed a 3-year deal with Caesars Entertainment to hold combative events at a place that they designed as a fight dome. And so I'm partnering up with them. We got a show this coming Thursday, and they want to use me not only as a cut man, but the face of the company, and works for me, bro.
Yeah, well, speaking of this, this happened twice. Man, we talked about it, but a lot of people don't make that transition into Hollywood like you either. Like, how did Stictch become a brand? How did it become a public figure like that?
The Hollywood one?
Both, yeah, man. Even your raps, I see that. Whether it's fighters, I know you've been in a corner rip. I'm seeing people rapping their hands and they got the Stictch tape. Like, if I rap my hands, if I was to fight, I want Stictch tape. Like, I wouldn't even feel.
Or his jacket, with the stitches right here.
Yeah.
Like you said, it all athletes, man. You look good, you feel good.
Yeah, of course,
shit that gives you mental confidence.
It's confidence, man. That's
it's psychological.
And like my tape, Canelo's using it now. So they sent out a nice, on their social media, a picture of him getting his hands wrapped with my tape.
Nice.
And that's like $1 million shot for me. But it's just, they know that it's quality. It's sure. Right. You tell me who else designed the other brands. Can you give me a name? You give me a name?
Even with gloves.
Everlast? I don't know.
Everlast ain't a person.
Exactly.
No, I put a lot of, we did through a lot of samples and all that, and this one it's light, but it's sturdy, and you could apply tension whenever you need, and make it tight, and it's water repellent.
How much foreseeing are you doing? Are you really involved in what your product is? So some people they invest in something and they put their name on it. And
man, that's a good question, and I'm gonna give Juan Ramirez. He owns Cutman for Hire Supplies, and everything that the cutman or cornerman needs, he handles it. So, good friend of mine, cutman out of Chula Vista, California, and I was really staying busy selling the tape, going to the packing it myself, going to the post office and this and that, my family, and I just got so busy I couldn't be doing that because of my traveling and all that. So I literally, if I woke up in the morning after a dream and I called Juan, I said, look, man, here's the dream I had, bro. Would you be interested in carrying my tape, and my KO swell? I designed a KO swell for the swelling, right? And of course, man, bro, he jumped on it. So we partnered up. So I help him get the exposure that he needs and educate guys like you that are corner guys and cut men, that if you need good cut man supplies, go to him.
No,
So I told him my job is to make sure that's your job full time.
I like that.
You got to get.
Hey man, if you ever have a dream needing somebody with a microphone, make sure you get a hold of us, man.
Yeah.
Get a hold of us out in your dream, man.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah, of course, man. Yeah. So that just that's the way my life works, man. And so you were asking about the boom. Okay. Now you were asking about how did everything get started and what have you not. It's a pretty terrific book. But I guess first I got to say is you should have read my book before you got me on. Right. From the Fields to the Garden. There you go. By Jacob Stitch Duran.
I should have had that sitting up right here.
No, but that's it. But no, that's just one of the journeys.
Right.
So I grew up in Planada, California. Actually, I grew up in a migrant camp by Planada in Plainsburg called CPC Camp Number 12, right? So in the second grade, I moved to Planada, which was 4 or 5 miles away. And that's where I grew up. And as a farm worker, that's what I did all my life. And I always wanted to play baseball. So I walked on to Merced College. Merced College from Planada is like 9 miles. And I didn't have a car, so I would go to school with my friends. And they would, after school, they would leave, and I'd stay and practice. And I'd have to do thumb at home, and like we were talking about you with your business, nobody taught you this and taught you that. Right. Well, nobody taught me that there was grants or, try to educate. Yeah. There's grants, there's scholarships, there's whatever we could do to keep you in
Especially
school.
Working in the fields.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, to keep you in school. Yeah. So I joined the military in the Air Force in 1972. And in 1974, I was stationed in Thailand, right at the end of the Vietnam War. And there I studied the martial arts, and that's how I got going and got into boxing when I moved to Oakland after I got out of the military and opened up my own school of kickboxing, ASK, American School of Kickboxing in Fairfield, California, right? I used to work with Dennis Alexio. That was a bad kickboxer. He came out in the movie The Kickboxer. He was the brother.
Yeah, you got me thinking about my blood sport kickboxing. I'm trying to think back.
Yeah. He was Jean-Claude Van Damme's brother, you know. So, but then I moved to Vegas, man. I packed up my family, moved to Vegas 23 years ago to be a cutman. And, I had a corporate job, worked for RJ Reynolds Tobacco Company, had a company car and tie, 8 to 5 job. And I took a $25,000 a year cut and pay to go over there because there was a secondary position. But I rolled the dice, made, and then it was only boxing.
Right.
And then the UFC came around, and Dana White, credit for that is he's the one that brought me in. So it was me and Leon Taz. Leon Taz was the original cut man from UFC number 1.
Okay.
And that's how we started on that,
Damn.
The movies, they just call me.
Yeah.
It's quite a journey.
When we were in LA, you were talking shit to me a little bit. You're like, Shelly, you remind me of all these new directors. You're your little sagging pants, hat on backwards and shit. And at first I was about to straighten up my hat and stuff. And then he was like, yeah, Kruger's just like that. Because I just did Creed 1 at that time.
Yeah, I had just gotten to Philadelphia that day, right?
Yeah.
And they picked me up at the airport. They take me to where they're filming and see this young guy like this, had a Golden State cap on and pants a little bit on the low side. And so I was going to go over there and, kind of pick him up. And, hey, this is Ryan Coogler. I'm director of Creed. Oh, okay.
Wow.
So that works.
Yeah,
so that works.
It's interesting.
Of course, man. That's the new generation, and you have to know how to, give these guys the talents. But, I had told Michael, because I worked with him every day for 6 weeks. I'd wrap his hands in the morning, and it'd just be him and I and Royce, his buddy, and we just.
He's a specimen athlete.
Tremendous, man. But I told him how proud I was. I told you about that. Huh? Told him how proud I was of him and Ryan Coogler and Steve Capo and Tessa Thompson, the young generation, the young blacks that have progressed. Yeah. And he said, Stitch, we went from being just actors, now we're writers, producers, and directors.
That's right.
And props to him.
Yeah, you guys, I'm going to let you guys know I'm next on that list, too.
We got you.
Absolutely, man. That's right.
Yeah, it's 100.
Yeah, I'm your agent, bro.
That's right.
15%.
That's it. He's calling it right now. I got Stitch on.
Yeah, well, you can take your 50% this way too, man. Yeah. Hey, grab anybody behind and give me the mic, and it's a wrap. Get me in my zone, and the chemical it's good.
Just get me on that. Get me on that Creed 3. I know you don't like to talk about it, but
that's it.
You can get me on that. We're good.
That's it. Yeah, he's gonna be on
Man,
there.
so
man.
you've been with Sly for a long time too.
That was
man.
what I'm gonna ask you about. What's it like working with that's Rocky? I don't even call him
shit.
Sly. That's Rocky.
I just seen a picture of that dude. Right, I was on Google, and he got his back all tatted, and he's ripped.
Yeah.
Damn, like you know what I mean? Like I'm 36, man, but shit, when I hit that age,
he's still shredded, man.
I know. I tell you what, man. You're right. He's top of the line. But when I did Balboa, when it happened, is Joe Cortez was the referee for that. He called me and says, "Hey, are you interested in being a cut man in the Rocky movie?" Well, at that time, I was working with Fabrizioso, was the cruiserweight champ from France, and he was going to fight in Paris. And then the week after, I was going to be in London with Audley Harrison. He had won the gold medal for the UK, right? And I told him no. I said, nah, you know what? I got this, because I'm thinking money, right? I'm thinking, I got this fight here and this fight that, and I hung up and I called my wife and I told her that, I turned it down. She goes, are you crazy? He goes, Rocky's an American icon.
Yep.
You have to do it. And I sat there, and now literally I was sending an email to Audley Harrison making details of what, where, when, and how much. And I literally was typing it up, and I sat there for about 30 minutes, and man, I deleted it. And I called Joe up. I said, look, man, if you're still interested, I'll do it. So I was the cut man for Antonio Tarver. Yeah. So I was the, Mason the Line Dixon.
Yeah.
But Rocky, man, just to see him work, because he wrote, directed, and acted in that, and I'm looking at him, and phenomenal. I have a great picture where him and I are on the ropes, and he's in his robe, during one of the cuts, and he's directing.
Right.
So tremendous.
Man, wow. What has changed since when for you being on set when those films like Rocky was getting done compared to now working with like Steve, you know what I mean, working with Kruger? What's changed on set?
The young generation is one thing that changed on set is that I got. Not that I didn't have respect the first time, but Ryan Coogler, when they brought me in, appreciated what I was bringing to the table,
right.
And they used that to their advantage,
right?
Because I helped set up the scenarios of where the judges go, what's your job, the timekeeper, what do you do? I helped them around the corner to make it look authentic,
right?
The reporters and all that, and so he knew I brought that to the table, and of course I told him.
That experience to make it look real.
That's what he's, because I said, Ryan, if I see something that's not right, man, I'm gonna let you know about it. He said, no, Stictch, that's why we got you, man.
Oh, that's cool.
And so even Ryan Coogler got a nice bond with him, man.
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome. Steve Capel, same thing. The other young director did a tremendous job.
Yeah.
Tessa Thompson, she's just a doll.
Oh, she's bad.
She's a doll.
She's one of my favorites.
Sweet girl.
Yeah.
So when's the Stictch story going to hit Hollywood, man?
I don't know.
I mean,
but you know what?
Think about your journey and think about, even the part where you got fired, or let go, but look at the doors that have been opening up since.
Yeah, no, you know what? I've always said somebody's going to do it. It's just a matter of when, and
okay, let me
whether
ask
it's
you this.
my time or after my time.
It gets done right now. It gets written. Who plays a young Stictch? What actor?
I don't think it'd be an actor. I think I'd go back to Planada and audition these young kids and see which one fits
Give
my
them an
bill
opportunity.
and teach them how to act and have them play my role.
Hey, you're giving them an opportunity.
Sure, of course. And everything's possible, man.
That's right.
I
like that.
And sure, of course. So
there's somebody there right now. One day he's going to get the call.
Yeah.
They're going to play a young Stictch.
Nah, that's cool, man. Shit, we got a heavy fight weekend, man. What's your calls on it? Canelo, Jacobs.
You know what? It's surprisingly people are, I guess. Daniel Jacobs has a good chance of winning.
Yeah, he does.
If it goes a distance, I think if it goes a distance, his speed, his mobility,
right,
will
decent chin too.
Well, yeah, because I seen that when he fought Triple G. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That was a competitive fight until Triple G got into him later on in the rounds, But today's
weigh-in was very competitive.
Exactly.
They almost popped off at the weigh-in. They almost went down.
Man, Canelo's special. You know what I mean? I think people lose track of that because of the Triple G fights or like when he fought Floyd, but he was really young. That was a good lesson for him.
That was brilliant on Floyd's part. Oh yeah.
Later on, they're gonna identify.
He caught the banana when the banana was still green.
Yep.
Now that was riper.
It might be a different story right now. For me, I say that 100%.
Oh, absolutely. And Floyd knows that. He's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart. Said, I'm going to take this now because every day that goes by, this kid's getting better and he's maturing. I'd rather catch him now that he's raw. And he gave him a lesson.
And then since we're on the topic with that, like we all know what Floyd has accomplished. Like financially, he's brilliant. Things like that, man. But he did change boxing. And then I think I asked you that previously, like, do you see these kids wanting to fight the best, or do you see these kids now operating more like a business?
Yeah, it's a business. It's turned into more of a business, not only through the kids, but the different organizations.
Right.
And, it'd be nice if you could cross-fight them.
No, yeah, because
the best of the best.
Shit, we got the playoffs going on right now, right? So in the playoffs, if you make it there, you gotta play the best.
Yeah.
Where in boxing, it's
a business. Now everything is going digital. You got the Zone, ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
You even got Disney that went digital, and that's the big thing, and that's where the money's at. So it's all making money.
What fighter today would you say is a throwback to the 80s?
Oh, throwback.
Who would fit?
Wow, I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay, let me ask you this. How would Canelo do in the 80s? How would Jose Ramirez do in the 80s?
Yeah.
How would Triple G do in the 80s? And
Those are the days of Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray
that's what I see.
Marvin Hagler. Those,
how would they fare?
Those are horses of a different color at that time.
How would Tommy Hearns and Mayweather do at 147s?
I think Tommy Hearns against Mayweather?
At 147.
Well, the height difference would make a big difference,
Right.
and Tommy could go forward. I'd be a tough one to call.
Yeah.
Sugar Ray and Mayweather.
We were talking about that just yesterday.
Man.
Yeah, I was telling my son because Sugar Ray Leonard was doing something behind the scenes on Creed, and we're looking at it. And I told my son, he's too young. I said, man, this guy was great.
Yeah.
And he thought, how would he have done with Floyd? And I said, good question.
Right.
Yeah, that's one. That's a tit for tat,
Floyd
man.
just has that movement, man. I mean, just
that ring IQ, that defense, that's one of a kind, man.
And I go to Mayweather's gym all the time. I was there yesterday,
Yeah.
and the day before. Yeah, I'll just go hang out because Monday to Thursday.
You ever see a cat there named Rick Repo? Repo Rick?
He's not. I don't think he's welcome back there no more.
Oh, okay. So you know what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just had to throw it out there because I was rocking Mayweather gear and Mayweather cream and the whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm learning quick. Boxing.
Hey, keeping it real, man. I ask the questions that need to be asked.
Of course.
I mean, like,
only in the fighter's voice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Every fighter has a voice.
You guys fight, but you're sensitive though. It's like behind the scenes, boxing shit's different, dude.
Man, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, man. I mean, I'll report something. I'll ask a question. I can't control the answer. And if somebody hears the answer or it didn't go right, I mean, I'm just asking you, okay, let's talk about the platform you have. I can't control what's going on. And yes, fighters are sensitive, very sensitive. Feelings get hurt. They get more hurt outside the ring than inside the ring.
No, and that's the shit that wears me out. I'm like, man, you're put in a position where you could have the best coach or whatever else in training camp, but you still got to do you when you get in that ring.
Yeah.
So a lot of that shit is deep rooted in who you are, not what everybody's telling you. But outside of it, I'm like, man, if I was doing that, I'd be like, cool, I'll just fuck you up. Like, that's the next step, right? Like, see, that's all I think I would be thinking about. You know what I mean? But I don't get like, I don't know, maybe it's the social media.
No, I'm talking about fighters that want to fight reporters.
Oh, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know that shit weirds me out. Like, I'm like, why are you tripping on this dude? Like,
So that does happen, huh?
Well,
not for me.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll interview fighters and one day and the next day they don't want to be interviewed. But hopefully it's just like in baseball. I have a short memory, man. I'm just here to give you a platform. I'm rooting for you, man. There's not one fighter that I've ever interviewed or been around that I'm thinking to myself, I hope you get beat or I hope you get knocked out. No, I root for them. I become fans of them, especially when you see them everyday life outside of the ring. They're human beings like everybody else. But they are sensitive.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah.
But they're gladiators.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, take nothing away from that.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of respect.
Their
that
mindset
may be something
too.
That's different too. Like we don't understand the mindset of that. Like they sacrifice a lot, whether from time, from the family, the work they're putting in, and then a lot of people don't understand until you make it to a certain platform, man. Financially, you're not set because you're on TV.
That walk from the dressing room to the ring itself, making that walk right there.
Right.
Hey, hats off.
You made a great point there, Shelly. Everything you said is what Mike Tyson said in very few words. I interviewed Mike one time and I said, Mike, every fighter has that one little thing that nobody has. What is that one little thing? And he says, take the pain. You got to take the pain. So I thought about it after and I thought, you know what? He's absolutely right because, and I tell these fighters too, I said, look, here's what Mike Tyson said. You take the pain because not only in the gym do you hurt, in the fight do you hurt, but your family crisis, you hurt. Your finances, you hurt. Everything. You got to take the pain.
Reaction.
Right.
You got to take the pain because it's going to be. It's part of their their makeup,
Right.
and not. And I mean, I go to the gyms, and very few of these guys are making money.
Yeah.
But they all have dreams to become world champions. And that's why I try to always give back and make sure that they're on the right track at least.
Yeah.
And try to give them some business sense.
No, that's cool.
So
I appreciate that.
no, of course, man.
Man, so what are you looking forward to tomorrow?
The entrance, I think, from what I understand, the entrance is going to be pretty wild, And so I was telling Gabe, we were having dinner, and I said, I've been all over the world, and I've been through a lot of badass events. The Klitschko brothers, boxing in Macau on New Year's Eve, in Tokyo on New Year's Eve,
right.
So I've been to big events, but this one is special because, I think the father designed everything.
No, that's cool. So,
so I'm looking forward to it, man.
No.
But the fight too. I mean, it's obviously I got to when I'm wrapping Gabriel's hands, I'm going to instill to him is block out the audience, block out the audience and stay focused with your opponent,
Right.
and because anything could happen.
Yeah.
This is our business, and
He did share
one
that
shot.
with me yesterday. I asked that question. Is there anything different about this? He said, no, just another fight. I'm going to be focused and concentrate and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And I also spoke to the father because we spoke off camera before, and he said, Richard, when our time comes and we're here in Stockton, I'm going to make this happen, this happen, this happen. And I asked him, is it everything you thought it would be? And he said, yes, and then some.
Yeah.
So he's very excited too, as if a piece of him is in that ring.
Oh, it is, of course.
Definitely.
And Gabriel's saying that he's cool, calm, and collected. That's fine.
Right.
But when he gets into the trenches, I'm going to have to recheck that, because if he starts joking around and now he's dancing to the audience, then that has to be taken away and says, stick to what you're good at. That's fighting. You're not an entertainer. You're not a comedian, anything like that. So he's fine. I mean, he's a well-disciplined kid. He could fight.
Yeah.
So, but that's me coming in with experience. If I see it, then I'll respond to it. Because I've seen it before.
Is there anybody that you have not worked with? I mean, you worked with everybody.
Yeah. Well,
The one person that said, you know what, I'd love to work with this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a question I even hesitate on asking, because your resume, you worked with everybody.
Work with a lot of good fighters, man. I've been real blessed. Obviously the Klitschko's both, 1 and 2, Vladimir and Vitaly, they kind of sit on top of the totem pole just because of their credibility, and Andre Ward, definitely up on top.
Oh, yeah.
And, Amir Khan. But early on, I worked with Mike McCallum and Johnny Tapia and Raul Marquez,
Tapia.
and,
That guy's
work
just
with
full
all
of
these
energy,
fighters.
Johnny Tapia.
Yeah. Oh, he was tremendous, man. It was an honor to work with him. And
Kind of looks like Joe Pesci a little bit.
don't tell him that, man.
No, I want to tell you. No, a reporter said that, and you know what he said? He said,
A reporter said that.
No, he did. And he said,
Aren't you a reporter?
No, well, he said, give me Joe Pesci money.
Yeah.
Is what he said. He was real savvy.
Yes, that's cool. Yeah, good kid.
Yeah.
Good, nice guy, man.
Fast, too.
So I've been blessed. MMA, I've done them all.
Yeah.
MMA, I can say I've done every major fighter, and wrapped their hands. The only ones I haven't wrapped were Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz, because Tito always wrapped his own hands, and Chuck, his coach, would wrap his hands.
Yeah.
Everyone else, throw me a name and
Yeah.
give you a story.
What's up, man?
Barrera? Marco Antonio Barrera?
No, this is for MMA.
Oh, okay. MMA.
Yeah, MMA, I've got them all. I seldomly work with Mexican fighters. I work with a lot of Eastern Europeans, and say like the Japanese, and
Yeah.
Europeans,
Right.
overseas a lot. But very few Mexicans.
Yeah.
Maybe one of these days.
You got Gabe tomorrow.
Yeah. But no, I'm talking about Mexicans from Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm talking about those from
Man, that shit is,
No, Gabe, I'm really excited. I'm so glad for them, and because they had told me right when I started work with them, no, we're gonna fight in Stockton one of these days, Cinco de Mayo weekend. They told me that,
Oh yeah, it's been a couple of years.
remember that? Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Called it out.
I said, all right. He called it, man.
That's a big fight.
And like I said, he booked me, man, as soon as that fight was over.
I'm excited to see what his gear is going to look like, his walkout gear.
Yeah.
I mean, he always comes
He does, man.
All his gear.
They do everything first class. For being such a young group,
Right.
because I've worked with so many
Yeah.
A-levels, right? I've seen how they do everything with uniforms and teamwork and this and that. And, man, for being such a young crew, they're at that level.
Yeah.
in how they treat me and how they treat their team and all that, and how they're on time and all that. It's a business,
Right.
And they're doing a real good job. Real good job.
Nice.
I don't know anybody else at that level that does that good of a job.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, they're taking the footsteps necessary to stay at that level, and
But that's the only way to
muscle
go.
memory and,
well, you know, Sean, the only way to do it is do it right.
Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, that's what I'm working on right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Of course.
Oh yeah, as we speak, Shelly was talking. We were talking about the set that he has envisioned and putting it right here as soon as you walk in the studio.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
This generation type of decor.
Yeah, man.
My wife would love you, man. She, oh my God, this is great. Can we do this to our house?
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I get a lot of compliments on this.
No,
place.
of course.
But nah, dude, I appreciate you stopping by, man. This is big for me having you here. You know, I appreciate you, and ever since I met this guy, he's always been like, Shelly, we got to do something. So once I built this place, that's one thing I do is I keep my word.
Yeah.
I keep my word. When I was like, hey, I'm going to build a studio, he was like, when you're ready, Shelly, I'll be ready. Now I got him down here.
Yeah,
you
good.
know?
Well, you got a good show, man.
Yeah, trying to make it happen, man.
So,
Doing
appreciate
it.
you.
But I'm gonna tell you something right now. He's being a little shy, man. Because reason being is when I said, hey, we have this guest on the show. Okay, cool. When I said Stictch, okay, is he coming in? You want me to pick him up? Is he gonna come in here? And I'm saying it there because it's like a kid in a candy store, man. And I feel that.
Yeah.
So the respect. I go, well, also so and so's gonna come. You go, all right, cool. But Stictch is coming, right? I mean, we got to get him in here.
Yeah.
I said, absolutely, man.
Man, you
he's
know
coming.
what? That's funny you
But
said
that's
that.
cool because the respect, because you've been watching this dude for a
It was
minute.
the same way too. I mean, like I said, since I was a kid, I know who he was, and just watching fights.
Exactly.
I do a lot of interviews. I've been around film a long time, been around the world. But when I was with him, even from when the time we're in the truck, we're driving to the Rock, the gym.
Yeah.
My hands are shaky as shit. I'm like, I got to get this footage right.
Yeah.
And I interviewed
Yeah.
him, and I was like, damn. I was like, why does Stictch make me nervous? It's weird because, I've been around Curry, even Michael B. We were all at the where were we at? Ward when he fought the first time.
Yeah.
Because he did, was Kovalo, right?
Yes.
I was there for the first
Yes.
fight. You know what I mean? It was like Michael B. right there, Curry, Marshawn Lynch and his mom was sitting there chilling. You know, everybody took pictures. Then I meet this guy in L.A. And I'm like, oh,
That's what's
shit,
up, man.
that's
Heck
Stictch.
yeah.
It's crazy, man.
And it was crazy watching the Creed movie to see Andre Ward get knocked out.
Yeah,
that was crazy. I was like,
because
whoa.
we've never seen nothing
No,
like
exactly.
that in real life,
No,
you know what I mean?
just to see them, to stay down, like, that didn't happen.
That shit
No,
never
no.
happens in my mind.
Yeah.
No, but let me tell you, he fought not to get knocked out, man. He talked to the directors, the producers, and the man, we got to have a different ending.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Andre,
Go to town.
Andre didn't want to go out like that.
He don't got that lose in his
No,
mind.
no. But that was part of the Hollywood thing, and he bit the bullet and went down, and
It's like watching a movie, and at the end, okay, don't worry, they're going to miss because the star's not going to get shot. Right? And Andre was saying, come on, man. I got that zero.
And then they took his damn Mustang.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael B. Jordan took his Mustang. Remember that?
Yeah, snatched it. Yeah, put
Took it back.
icing on the cake.
Took
Yeah,
it
he
back.
did. No, that's good stuff,
Hopefully
though,
we
man.
see you in Creed 3. I know you like everything keeps under wraps in Hollywood, and that's what's up, man. We just want to keep seeing you do well, dude.
You know what, man? If it happens, everything that has happened, and I've had a great career, thank God, man. But I've never asked for one job.
That's nice.
It just happens, man. It just happens, and we have a saying in Spanish, because apenas me ando calentando. I'm just getting warmed up, bro.
Oh, that's right.
So got a lot of good things.
You're in your prime, my man.
In my prime right now. And that's a good point, because I've always looked at the legendary cutmen, the Ace Moradas, Eddie Alianos, Percy Richardson, Leon Tabbs, Chuck Bodak, all these, Rafael Garcia, all these legendary cutmen, right? And I seem to kind of try to make them proud. That saying that here we are, man. We're making a difference, and we are.
And you're adapting. I mean, your market and your brand.
Yeah,
That's the whole thing.
Well, I've always been a hustler.
You do the
man.
job, and then your brand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I think I never finished. You asked those questions, but marketing. Because I worked for R.J. Reynolds for 23 years, so I knew sales and marketing. You know, I was selling cigarettes right in the streets of downtown Oakland and 28th Avenue, and I was right in the deep hearts of Oakland. So I learned to be streetwise, and I learned to be corporate wise. Yeah. And
but that's a cool nickname itself, Stictch.
Yeah.
And doing what you're doing, there it is.
And people now they're starting to ask, how'd you get the name Stictch? So what happened when I lived in Fairfield, I had to go kickboxing. I worked with Dennis Alexio, that was the heavyweight champ of the world at that time in kickboxing. Bad dude. And his sparring partner, Dave Rooney, we fought in Vallejo, and he got a small cut, and I saw what other cutmen would do, and we butterflied it, and he said, oh man, I don't have to go to the hospital. You save me some stitches. I'm going to call you Stictch. So Dave Rooney gave me the name, and last thing I heard, he was a fisherman up in Alaska somewhere, so I don't think he realizes how much he
Impact.
Impacted my name.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I've been blessed.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah,
That's good
so
stuff, man.
looking forward.
Man, like I said, hey man, I appreciate you. I know both of you guys are traveling today. I'm hometown in Stockton, so man, I'm actually gonna grab a cold one with you. I don't know what you got going on later, but
Nah, man, I've been up since 5.
yeah, you
I had to be at the airport and then
Right.
fly over here and then hanging out and doing all this with the commission. And
Hey, let me say this, Shay. This guy is a man of his word. When
Yeah,
he
yeah,
says he's
yeah.
going to do something, he does it.
No,
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like, okay, well, I know he's going to be busy here, but if you don't ask, you shall receive. Right on point, man. He's a man of his word.
yeah, no, you know what?
100%.
To me, communicating is
respect.
so key. I learned that from RJ Reynolds. I'd go to an accountant, or somebody call you. They always said, listen, if you're not going to see them in a week or two, at least call them and let them know.
Right.
I got your message. And so that's just a proper thing to do. And, as soon as I get it, I respond. And then time-wise, I'm always on time and I make that a point. It's a business that we run,
Yeah.
So you got to run it as a business. Plus, it's a respect factor.
No, okay.
And I mean not giving you my word and saying, you know what, man, I'm sleepy, I don't do that. So let's do it again, man. I got tons of stories, bro.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe I will have a beer. You gonna have a beer, man?
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
Let's do that.
I just got to throw this in there too, because I know my family's gonna be watching. You talked about the fields. My mom was part of that child.
Yeah, yes,
She
yes,
helped
yeah.
get restrooms in the fields. She did her protesting and working jobs, picking grapes, and then working in the evenings at a bar. And she had to do what she had to do. So I just had to throw that in there because you're so proud of your parents and your upbringing. I saw that open door, man, because I can hear my brother saying, hey, you didn't let him know about mom? Or you didn't
you know what?
Exactly.
And it's great because
And my mom still has one of those original flags that say Chavez.
La huelga, the
Yes,
huelga.
yes.
Yeah. But, those are the kind of families that we lived with.
Yeah.
Where the doors are open. I'd go to your house and make you a taco right there. A taco,
then and there.
what they call burritos now
Yeah.
with tacos.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to call them
Exactly. Everything goes in a tortilla.
Really?
Or you just put it in.
Those were
Yes.
the tacos. This
Hey,
should
what do
have
you want?
curved
Let's
like
take
this.
a taco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
Really?
Bologna or whatever it was.
So that's all like American created? Like the whole burrito?
Well, the burrito, I didn't know where burrito
McDonald's.
came from. We never called them burritos.
No, it's tacos.
It's tacos. They were tacos.
Yeah.
We ate
So what do you
tacos.
want? I'll take a couple tacos.
So you get all these white kids that would go to school and they had nice sandwiches and all that. We walked in with tacos, man,
Yeah.
and they would trade us.
Yeah. For real. They had the lunch
Hell
pails.
yeah.
You don't think we would jump on that, man? Shit, burrito versus a nice sandwich?
sandwich, yeah.
Shit, I'm in, man.
Hey, Shelly, the teachers love the shit too.
telling you.
Even the teachers, they love the
Oh yeah,
tacos.
no, exactly, man. No, exactly. Oh, of course.
So burritos are not real, okay?
No, they're tacos, man. Those are
Tacos,
tacos,
bro.
yeah.
All right, cool.
So those are
That's right,
the
man.
growing things.
Hey, to this day, I'm laughing because, hey, I'll take a taco. And it's just, okay, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a taco from the taco truck.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
it was like a burrito.
It was a
Anything you
burrito,
wrap
yeah.
up, you put in the burrito. Anything.
was a
It could
taco.
be anything.
Damn, I learned something today. That's valuable information right there.
Oh yeah. And to this day, I still fry my bologna.
That's the only way to go, man.
Heck yeah, with tapatio.
Yeah,
Hey man, let me tell you, we still got a little bit of time. Let me tell you a
Yeah,
story about
absolutely,
bologna, right?
Okay.
I just did they're doing a documentary and they filmed me at the Fight Dome Monday and Tuesday, and we were talking about my history of my life and all that, and the impact. Or Rhett Butler asked, what impact did you had in your life, or what setback? But I remember I was like in the 4th grade and we're going on a field trip. So the teacher says, you guys bring meat sandwiches, right? So my oldest brother, Jimmy, had taken us to San Francisco to see the Giants. And this man and lady, husband and wife, were sitting next to us. And they had big pieces of ham sandwiches, man. And they gave them to us, right? So my thing was, when she said meat, big old nice pieces of ham, my mom made me a bologna sandwich. On the way to school, man, I threw it away. I felt so bad because I was thinking, I don't have this meat that these people gave me.
Yeah.
And I got to school, man, and I'm the only one that didn't have a lunch, and everybody had bologna, But I remember I said, fuck, man.
I remember I was so happy the first time I had to raise my hand and say, I got a co-lunch today, that I brought a lunch from home. I was happy. I had a $6 million man lunch pail. Right, as opposed to you get the free lunch at school.
Right.
But I said cold lunch, and I want everybody to know that I was getting a cold lunch.
Yeah.
Even though I remember it was like something wrapped up in foil and some chips, and but we used we didn't have the Glad bags.
Right.
The old We put all the bread in there. So my brother cut it and just put some chips in there and tied it with a rubber band. So yeah, I mean that was real. But I was I was able to bring cold lunch.
Yeah.
So I was happy, man.
That's right, man.
That's real stuff though. That was some good stuff though. That's real. Hey, I love bologna, man.
Well, me too. Yeah.
I get down on bologna all day. And Spam. It's kind of salty, but I'll tear up some Spam.
Oh yeah,
bro.
Spam. I love Spam.
Heck yeah. She's always going, let's go eat
And my
right
wife
now.
said, "This is too salty," so I get the 25% less
Oh, there you
sodium
go.
one.
There you go. Well, hey, I'll keep it real. I get what's on sale. You know what I mean? Shoot.
Yeah. That's
But hey, still to this day, I'll go shopping, Shelly. If it has a red tag on it and clearance, and it's my size, it's a wrap.
Oh yeah, man. That's,
Oh yeah,
that
that's
never
smart
changes.
shopping, man. Oh no, never change, man.
Yeah.
Never change, man. Just like my man right here never changes. Right off the bat, his first words was coming out where he was. What'd he say on my day off? I'm gonna go back to the 209. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, you know, and it's cool, man, because I love stories like this, right? Because you just have so many nice people in the industry that we're in. But I told Gabe Senior, I said, look, when you book my room, Talk Prank, give me an extra day because I'm leaving Monday, and I'll pay for that extra day. So no, I've got it covered. So I said, all right, man, I appreciate it. So then I said, look, you don't have to pick me up at the airport. I flew into Sacramento. I said, I'll rent a car because, I'm going to go to Merced after the fights. No, you can use my car. So he's going to let me use his car to go to Merced and bring him back Monday, and then he'll take me to the airport.
That's cool.
So that's nice.
That's
huh?
cool.
That's the way they treat me. And,
That's good, man.
that's all respect factor.
That's what's up.
Absolutely,
So-
man.
So we're looking forward to tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm ready too,
well,
man.
let's do it, man. Let's do it.
That's
Hey, the fighter's voice, the only voice that matters. We're simply knocking out the competition. If you get knocked out, you need to get stitched up. Hit up my man right here, Stictch, the best in the business. He opens doors. When doors closes, they open up even wider. My man Shelly taking care of us. The studio's state of the art. You guys got to come in here. Since you're not here, we're going out to you. As always, it's a wrap. Stockton, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
This is ring announcer Lupe Contreras, voice of Top Rank Boxing and of La Jaula for Combate Americas. And you are listening to the fighter's voice. As always, thumbs up for Richie.